everyone. Welcome back to Market Mamas. I am Becky. This is my girl Kendra, and we are day traders from the West Coast. And then last year, we started podcasting about our experience of being women, mothers, day traders, retail traders from our home and our little computer spaces. And so we just kind of realized we have some things to say about that because it's actually like a really kind of a wild and hard pursuit that we've fallen madly in love with. So we're just going to keep doing it, and we're going to talk about it openly with you guys and see if any of the things that we talk about amongst each other, amongst ourselves, that really kind of feeds us and helps us keep at this game and keep the same heart and momentum with it. We're going to talk about it with you guys too, because I think that it's really a large thing that people in the world are doing, trading from their homes now, that has unprecedented in previous decades. And so there's a lot to grow together through that with. So here we are again. And today, I think some of you will resonate with this because we want to talk to you about technical errors and how that can impact your day. Because it's not, there's kind of a couple different ways you can go with this. And we have also mentioned that we trade using Apex Trader Funding. And that is just one company as an example of funding companies, prop firms that can give you a little bit more capital to trade kind of in partnership with, so that you can have a little bit more finances, ability to trade a little bit higher leverage once you start getting scale. And then also they carry some of the risk for you. But what about when you have the best laid plan for your trading day? You get up early, you plan, you feel like you understand what's happening, you get a trade set up, and you know how you want to execute it. But then market opens and you go to enter your trade and execute your trade plan, and something glitches, something doesn't work, something doesn't cross over how it is supposed to in a perfect world. And then all of a sudden, your intentions are not fulfilled. It's not copied. It's not filled. It's in the wrong place. It didn't go through at all. There's a lot of ways that it can go awry potentially that had nothing to do with your trade plan and your level and what you want to execute within the market. Like, how do you keep cool and manage your day? That's like, it's a pressure point that could cause some damage to your day in multiple ways.
It really can. It can throw you off your game so quick and kind of just turn your trading session upside down and frustrating and just not the mindset that you want to be in, when you're trying to be patient and you're trying to wait for your setup and you're trying to read the market. So I've definitely experienced that. I really try to make it a goal when I, start my pre-market to make sure my charts, like my execution charts, are set up how I want them. Which accounts, the size, the trade copier, and because, we have different strategies, different, intentions, or different ways we want to trade. And there's nothing worse than realizing, you just entered and that wasn't the account you wanted to enter on, or that wasn't the size, or your bracket's not set right. And it just throws you off. And so these are the things that, they're not as common, but they are important, and it's great to just be very mindful of them. And we've learned along the way, how to kind of better manage ourselves and these things. But unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that is out of our hands when it comes to, the funding companies that we use, and Rithmic for our data. And there has been a lot of issues happening recently, just within like the past month, I believe, right, Becky?
It's been like a substantial problem, and it's worsening. And I did some reading, some research as to try and figure out what the root cause of this could be. And the main thing that I have heard, and it's not official, is just that the volume is just so rapidly increasing of day traders at home that the companies that are in the lead in the industry, they get the most volume in terms of people utilizing them. They just are trying to keep up. They're like, we're going to update the server again, and that should help. And we're going to, do all these things that should get the system up and running so that we can keep up with the volume. And then there was also comments made about during news events where there's increased volatility, or right at market open when there's increased volatility. Just that volatility is essentially another word for volume. There is a lot more happening, a lot more money being thrown around, and when that happens, the system is at a higher likely potential to glitch, to not take your order, to not fill your orders at your intended target, and then it takes off without you and doesn't even fill you late. It just doesn't fill you, or you intend to copy and it doesn't copy right, or it copies the inverse, heaven forbid, it copies a short instead of a long. There's been ghost orders that are in, like you're trying to just trade and all of a sudden you're in another account that you didn't have roped in at all. And so it's been really frustrating for people who are having these errors with Rithmic. And I can't speak to other platforms because I just don't trade them and I'm not in those communities. But I don't think this is like an isolated situation, just because it really, I personally know traders, and then I'm a member of different forums that I have kept an eye on, and it really is impacting a lot of retail traders. And I'm just saying, like, we want to like meditate and have peace and deep breathe through our trading and really stay focused and be able to manage whatever comes at you. That's the ideal trading mindset, right? But when you are doing everything to your ability to be ready and execute your plan, and something else happens upon you that you don't have control over, it can like drive a person mad. And then it's hard to manage your trades once you're in them if something didn't go quite right. Say you got in some accounts and you're not in others, then you're like rapidly checking your different things to see what is even have an active trade, what doesn't have an active trade. Can I get this one in the trade still, even though it didn't copy correctly? And so you go from managing your trade and watching all your different time frames and wanting to see the price action that shows you your trade is still good or bad, or you need to adjust your targets. You go from that like functional trader mindset to the concerned repair person trying to figure out what went wrong. And you get into the technicals of like, how do I need to get all my accounts on if this is my trade that I want, that I see, that I'm trying to like put all my eggs in that basket right now, because that's a really good setup. And you're not even watching the setup anymore. You're hunting your accounts to see what's what. And it's been hard to keep my cool, honestly, speaking from direct personal experience, to adequately manage my trade how I want to, while I'm fighting against making sure everything is doing what it should on the technical end, which is really not what I'm supposed to do. So when that happens, it's hard.
Yeah, it has been extremely hard. You have many mornings, I want to say. It's been rare that you haven't been, messaging me and like, oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated, Rithmic again, these accounts, like, and yeah, trading is literally already enough to manage, like without all of that. Like, it's a lot just to manage yourself, your mindset, your patience, what you're waiting on, what you're reading. And then this is like a whole other, um, ball in the court that shouldn't be there, really. Not to the extent that it has. I mean, maybe, occasional. I mean, because in the past, I want to say maybe this would happen like once a month. We'd have an issue with Rithmic, but for it to be happening daily and day in and day out, and they're very much aware of it and having to put out information for us every day, and having to, do something about it. I mean, they've been resetting accounts, which is like never happened. And that's a whole nother a whole other can of worms, right?
Yeah, it's wild actually, because we have never seen that. And we've been training with Apex for a year and a half now. And they know that they're having problems, and they know that it impacts traders. And we're already doing a high risk, high pursuit, like challenging, high volatility endeavor. And we're trusting them to be our funding partner. And so they know that they're in a little bit of hot water, to be honest, because, they won't exist without traders choosing them. And so they actually, I'm a fan of Apex in general. I understand a lot of their rules, and I think that they're pretty fair and reasonable, and they've been pretty responsive with working with us. And so I appreciate that they are really tackling this head on. They post things, they send out emails, they say, we know this is happening, we're trying, this is what we're doing, resetting the servers, whatever. But it's been wild to see that a few days in the last week and a half, they have, if your account has ended red, they're not digging into every single red account and saying that was your technical error because you didn't trade right. They're saying the Rithmic is having issues and people's accounts were impacted, and so we're resetting all red P&L ends of the day. And so whether or not it was a Rithmic issue, or it was I entered wrong and over leveraged and tilted and traded like crap, they're giving that back to you. So that's a pretty significant like investment on their end of like, we're sorry, and we know that this sucks right now, and we're trying, and let us offer something in repair for that. And they're not doing it every day, and so there's some discontent about the fact that like, I had issues every day this week and you only reset 2 of them because those were the worst days for Rithmic issues, which I do see the argument in, but also it's a big ask to say that they just always reset red right now while Rithmic is not working. So it's really kind of a muddy situation, and we just have to roll with it. And it's like, trading is not going to be perfect, and the world is not perfect. What about besides Rithmic, you're just in a trade and the internet goes down at your house and you're like, shit. Like, I don't know if I'm still in. I don't even know what the market is doing because I'm not getting data from any of my sources. That's happened to me. I think it's happened to you too, Kendra, last year. Like, and so there's different ways that technical issues can happen. And so you just got to do your best on working with what you have and improving it. And if you're partnered with someone, you have to kind of have the faith and give them a little wiggle room to get their business in order. And then ideally they will, and we'll all be back to happily trading and copying as we would like. That's my hope. I'm like literally like setting them like positive vibes in my meditation at night.
Yeah, fingers crossed this is all short-lived and they're going to work it out. I mean, I doubt they have the manpower, to comb through everyone's accounts with the millions of us. So, it makes sense that they're, occasionally resetting completely. And it does work out on occasion to your advantage. I personally, Friday, did not trade my best on my evals and over leveraged. And I got lucky. I got blessed by, this Rithmic, system-wide issue, which, so it's like, I'm not going to get used to that. And hopefully no one else is. But hey, there is a silver lining occasionally, even in the most, crazy circumstances. So yeah, this is just definitely something that's on all of our radar. And we're hoping, is short-lived and they could kind of get their system, improve their systems and, have us all back operating and not having to wonder if, okay, is today, Rhythmic going to have issues? Is our platform's going to fail us? So we shall see. More to be continued, and let us know like what's been going on with your guys' accounts. If you guys have been affected as well, what other technical issues you've encountered. Like Becky said, when the internet goes out, when our platform just, doesn't execute our orders or fill our orders. When we occasionally, I know in the beginning, sometimes we would enter in the wrong direction, or we would, like I've occasionally accidentally like bought more. And then that instantly kind of freaks me out because like, oh no, I only wanted to enter with 2 contracts and I just hit 4. Like, and then I'm instantly like doubting, if I should be in and focused on that instead of my trade setup. So there's just lots of technical issues that can affect us on any given day. And the idea is to try to limit those so we can really just stay focused, keep our eye on the prize, on our best game. Because again, trading it's hard enough already without all these extra added factors.
Seriously. I think you do have to like take each day as a learning day. And sometimes it's about like the charts of Miss Market and how she moves. But then sometimes it is about our process and what holes in that we can improve on. Because I 100%, when I was an early trader, entered a long when I meant to enter a short and entered a short when I meant to enter a long. And there's some growing pains with like just learning how the heck to enter an accurate order and how to manage it correctly. And sometimes I want to like move one thing and I end up canceling the whole stinging order and I get out with a small loss when the trade was a winner. And it's like, I shouldn't hit that button. Like, I'm not going to do that again. And I think that the same thing, I've definitely, oh my gosh, that's the worst for me when I want to enter a trade with 1 contract, because my style is almost always I'll enter a trade with 1 contract. And then I may want to have 2 or 3 contracts on or even rope in other accounts, but I like to start light and just sort of test the waters and then see as it progresses, then make the position larger. And every once in a while I'll have it set because I did some funny business the night before, backtesting or in sim or whatever, and it will be set on 5 contracts. And then you're in a trade for 5 immediately. And then that's that moment of like, okay, so do I want to just immediately back out because I'm way over leveraged for what I intended to do? Or do I just like deep breathe and analyze and decide whether or not I can hold it, and this is where 2 lessons on that I see is like, always check your stuff in the morning, like always make sure it's set on the correct account you want to start with, the correct contract size and volume that you want to start with, and have everything that the trade copier turned off if you want to start with it off or whatever. Like basically just as part of your morning trade setup analysis and plan making, also make sure the logistics are ready for you to just click the button when you're ready. So once you make sure you really have your system set up in the morning, you also have to just be really present with your chart. Like whether or not you entered with the right amount of contracts, breathe and relax and hold to your system. You know how to trade at this point. You know what data to watch. And if you encounter technical errors in whatever sort of variety in your morning, keeping your cool and keeping your focus is key, I think, to managing all of the frustrations. Because if you start to spiral and you start to get into the emotions of the feels of it, of like, this isn't working right and I don't know what it's doing over here, then you really do detach from your focus process of monitoring what's going on in your data and trading well and having that be the priority. So I would say whatever your technical issues come up in the morning, whether it's like a data situation or you click the wrong button or something, the best way for me that I've been trying to deal with this, because it happens more recently too often than I'd like, is to just try and like take a couple steadying deep breaths and then systematically just go through. Just if an account is not safe, then decide like shut it down or like place appropriate protection and then watch it. And so just basically quiet the mind from the anxiety and the frustration and dial it in and handle your situation. And that's part of the like high stress adrenaline moment where you can get really in the fight or flight and just try and react really quick. But ideally, you want to just keep the peace and do your business and do it well, execute as you would intend to. Even if that hadn't happened, it's just a little variety in your day. And so try your best is what I'm doing to like just still ideally manage the situation and get to a as good as you can outcome, and then shut it all down, make sure it's all closed, and then like let it out for a minute, rapidly text Kendra how you're frustrated again. But when you're not in a trade and you have managed the situation appropriately, that's how I'm trying to come at it.
Yeah, I think the goal is for us always to try to just stay focused anytime we're on the charts and the screens, just on the market, on our charts, on our setups, and really try to stay neutral. And I think that is kind of the challenging part with these accounts, is because we do have that added piece of managing them and making sure, we're not violating the rules. And so, ideally we want to just be comfortable with whatever size. Like, it shouldn't matter about the size. Like, that should be irrelevant. That's the goal, right? That, it's just about the trade, and, the size organically grows. But it's challenging because we do have specific rules and thresholds we have to, honor. And so when we do have these technical issues, it just makes that even more complicated to do. So we will continue to advance onward through any, challenges and obstacles. And we're just wanted to bring this conversation up with you all. And it's very relevant. So much buzz about it right now. So yeah, let us know how you're doing on your journey with your with Rithmic, with other. I know there's a lot of other funded account companies that can be experiencing these issues as well. So we'd love to hear from you all, and our best trading days are ahead. Becky and I have been working really hard behind the scenes on a lot of other cool stuff. So please visit our socials. You guys visit our website. Look in the description. We have some really cool affiliate links now that are available if you want to support Market Mamas. We also have our amazing merch store, and we have some market data limited edition products as well that we're bringing to you all. So we're here for everyone. And we'll be back with more content. Everyone, take care. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Take care.